Welcome back to the Banking on Digital Growth podcast. I'm your host, Derek Kraus. I'm joined again today by my co-founder, Ryan Harmon, to talk about AI traffic. AI search is projected to overtake Google search within the next 3 years, and that correlates with another major shift. Soon, the primary users of financial institution websites won't be humans. They will be AI agents, which raises a big question. How much AI traffic are FI websites actually getting? Popular analytics tools like Google Analytics aren't built to answer this question. In this episode, we're going to explain more about AI traffic and how to measure it, not to be confused with AI visibility, which is a different type of measurement altogether. We're also going to launch a research study, and we're inviting all credit unions and banks to participate in this research with us. Let's get started. Hey, Harmon, welcome back to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yep. So today we're going to talk about this question of how do you actually measure AI traffic on a website, and in particular, of course, a bank or credit union website. And it's an interesting question because for the last 6 to 9 months with Paraloom, we've been measuring AI visibility. And it was actually from those conversations that we decided that we needed to measure not just AI visibility, but AI traffic, right? And you were actually the one that got us started down this vein, and we ended up talking about it, and I kind of took it on as a project I'm working on now. But what actually led you to start thinking about AI traffic and not just visibility?
I've been waiting for Google Analytics to start showing it, and they still haven't. And after talking with a lot of folks at banks and credit unions, maybe the number one, if not the number two question is, how do we know that doing work to improve AI visibility works to drive traffic? And how do we know that AI bots are looking at our website? It's just sort of, it's hard to know what you can't, it's hard to see what you can't measure. So I just thought we've got to get that visibility, and not wait for a tool to give it to us. We needed to be able to feed it into Paraloom. So I just thought, if we're going to have to build this ourselves, and it's going to be relatively simple because these bots they're easy to pick up on. So yeah, it was time to just pull the trigger.
Okay. For those that are listening, let's define some terms so everyone's on the same page. So we've thrown around 3 different terms that a lot of people may not be familiar with. AI visibility versus AI traffic, and Paraloom. So first, Paraloom is a software application that we've built, and Paraloom already measures AI visibility, and we're adding in functionality to measure AI traffic. So when we say AI visibility, what we mean is that if you go right now and you open ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot, Perplexity, pick your AI app of choice and ask it a question. Like, we're both in the Salt Lake City area. So let's say I ask, tell me where I can get the best auto loan rate in Salt Lake City. So I ask that question, and the AI is going to go do some research about rates from different credit unions and banks and other auto loan providers in the Salt Lake City area. And it's going to come back with a response. And in that response, it's going to tell me some places where I can get the best rates. It's going to list specific financial institutions and loan providers. And AI visibility for a brand is if they show up in the responses that an AI agent is giving an answer to a prompt or a question. So when you measure your AI visibility, you've got a set of questions or prompts, and you're basically just trying to answer, if these questions are asked, do we get mentioned? And you get a visibility score that's a percentage to say, you showed up and answered to these questions X% of the time. For some institutions, they can have very high visibility for certain prompts that they're targeting, or they can have extremely low visibility. And it depends on, first, the questions you're asking. If you ask very broad questions, you have a lower chance of, if I just said, tell me the best auto loan rates in the United States, then what are the chances that a local credit union or bank are going to show up? Very slim. But if you ask a very specific question, like, tell me where to get the best first time auto loan in not just Salt Lake City, but in Mill Creek, a suburb of Salt Lake City, you're getting much more specific. If you are a credit union or a bank in that area, you have a much higher chance of showing up. But the other factor beyond the specificity of it is, like, is AI able to find you? If you have no information online that it can find, or that it doesn't deem useful in answering the question, or no one else is mentioning you, then you're not going to show up in the response. So whether you show up or not in AI responses, you get mentioned, that's visibility. But visibility does not equate with traffic. So as we've been doing a lot of testing with financial institutions on optimizing AI visibility, what we've been doing is they will take a prompt that they want to show up for. So again, let's go back to best auto loan rate in Salt Lake City. And let's say we're working with a credit union that is not showing up at all for that prompt, 0% visibility. And then we take some sort of action to increase their visibility. Like, what we've done a lot of is publish a long form article that answers the question in a lot of detail. And we've seen that very frequently causes a big jump in visibility. So we'd go through and do that, and then at the end of it, the credit union would say, awesome, our visibility increased. So how many users are we getting to our site as a result of that? And we're like, we don't know. Visibility doesn't answer that. It tells you if ChatGPT mentions you. It doesn't tell you if human users land on your site as a result, or if AI users or AI agents come to your site as a result. So AI visibility, does ChatGPT and other LLM platforms, do they mention you when they're asked questions? AI traffic, on the other hand, is a measure of how often AI agents are visiting your website, which visibility and AI traffic, there could be a connection there, and that's, but there isn't necessarily a connection there. So that's we're launching a research study to study AI traffic. We have lots of data at this point about AI visibility, have a good understanding of how that works. With AI traffic, we've learned a lot of things, but we want to know, how much traffic are credit union bank websites actually getting? How often are AI agents visiting websites? And we've talked about this quite a bit. So, but if you could maybe just explain why you think it's important to measure that. Like, why would it matter to know if AI agents are visiting your website or not?
Yeah, I think the two biggest things are what knowing that an LLM or an AI agent is looking at your traffic to index it. So like when we launch new pages or we're working on the SEO for our website, we want to get our pages indexed in search engines. And so having validation that, okay, the search engine knows about this content is a
Right.
is a good tool. And so you can see the same thing with LLMs when you track their bot traffic and yeah, see that, okay, OpenAI knows about this page or Google's AI knows about this page, which is good. It can tell you that one, they could be training on it, but two, these LLM companies are actually maintaining indexes of their own,
Mm.
like the Internet Index for AI, so that their agents can find information faster without always having to go through the search engine. Um, but it tells you that yeah, LLMs are finding your content, and I think most importantly that they're finding it on behalf of a human user. So that's another type of agent visit where a
Right.
human user, through the course of a conversation or question or conversation with an AI agent, has basically caused that agent to go to your website. And I think where things really get interesting is like, well, why? And it could be because they're directly asking about your hours of operation. You see this AI this AI agent go to your locations page, and by way of the type of agent, these agents, they have like name badges, and one of them is like tells us that this agent is actually here on behalf of a user. The
Mhm.
other, the indexer agent, its name badge is like indexer from OpenAI. I'm just here to index. I'm just here to scan. I'll be on my way.
Right.
But yeah, the ones that are coming on behalf of the human user, those are really interesting. So if you see if you see traffic to your location page, it's probably because somebody asked about your hours or nearest location. But if it's visiting your rates page or a product page, yeah, that means that because of a prompt or during a conversation with AI, that bot went to your website to get info to use in its response. And I think that's the most important and exciting insight that you can get.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most interesting things that we've learned as we've dug into this is there are really three main types of bots that these
Mhm.
LLM platforms use, and not all of them have all three, but OpenAI has all three. I think Amazon for Alexa has all three of these.
Yeah, and I
And the,
mentioned the indexer and the user. What's the user bot? What's the third one again?
well, so you've got the user agent that, as you said, is coming as a result of someone actually asking a question or putting a prompt into the platform. And to as- to talk about that one for a second, we've seen in our initial testing, it's really interesting if we so we've got logging in our this analytics feature that we're building that we're going to be doing this research with, and we've seen that if we go to ChatGPT and say, tell me about this brand or tell me about this website, then we'll see in in ChatGPT, you can see the citations where it went to visit, but then in our logs, we'll see the ChatGPT user bot show up. It's actually called ChatGPT dash user is the name of the agent, and so it comes right away, and you can see that logged, and you can see any other pages that it like all of the different pages that it visited on the website to try and answer the prompt. But then
Right.
so there's the user agent, and then there's the search indexing agent.
Index. Yeah.
So there because ChatGPT and others, I'm just going to say ChatGPT, but for anyone listening, I mean ChatGPT or Perplexity or Grok or Copilot, insert your favorite AI app. But ChatGPT is the gorilla. They have the gorilla, the 900-pound gorilla, as they say. So, uh, like they've got 80% plus market share. So I'm just going to say ChatGPT. But so they've got the user agent bot, and then they have the search indexer bot because when you put in prompts, uh, ChatGPT is doing a lot of search to find answers on pretty much like most prompts. If you're asking for something where it needs to go out and find the answer, it's doing a search. So then you've got the search agent bot, and then the third one is a training bot where it's going out and scouring the internet to get information that it's using to train its models. And so those are the three types of bots that you see. And so the latter two, the search bot for indexing and the training bot, as you said, those are interesting and helpful for knowing if they know about your site, because if the LLM apps don't know about your site, then they're not going to be able to reference you. So, and which pages or assets on your site it's aware of, and it's indexed, or it's brought into its training data, or potentially brought into its training data. But then, as you pointed out, I think the one that's most interesting is to be able to see actual AI activity on your site as the result of a user prompting something. So, from this research study, I hope to learn a lot about how those different types of agents are interacting with credit union and bank websites. And it's going to be very interesting because we're building out our own feature for this, because as you mentioned a few minutes ago, there's a blind spot right now in analytics where Google Analytics is the most popular analytics platform for websites, for the web, but it has a blind spot where it doesn't it's not made for tracking bots and AI traffic. It's made for filtering out bots.
Yes.
It's made for only seeing human users. So we still want to know human users that come to the site in general, of course, but by way of AI, we want to know any referrals that are coming to the site. But it's like today you need the opposite of Google Analytics for the coming agentic web. Google Analytics is made for the human web, tracking human activity on your website. But now, and bots for a long time, everyone's like, well, we don't want to know the bot traffic. That's noise. Yeah, but now it's being flipped on its head, because we still want to know human activity on the site, but we also really want to know the AI bot traffic on the website. And Google Analytics, at least as it stands today, is not built for that. Like the only thing that we've seen that's somewhat useful from Google Analytics is it tells you referral traffic. So if you ask the question in ChatGPT, what's the best auto loan rate in Salt Lake City, it comes back with answers, and it lists out, credit union ABC and bank XYZ, and it has links to those. Well, if someone clicks on the link and ends up over on credit union ABC's website, then you can see that the website got a human that's coming to the site that was a referral from ChatGPT. So that's useful, but incomplete. It doesn't account for all of the no clicks, people that didn't click anything. They just got the information and went on to the next question, or left ChatGPT, whatever they decided to do next. So it doesn't account for that. So, whereas you would see, so what you would in Google Analytics, if someone didn't click, you wouldn't see anything. You would just,
Right.
it would just be empty. You wouldn't know that it existed. But with AI traffic analytics, you would see that an AI agent hit your
Right.
website when someone asked that question. Now, you wouldn't know what the question is. You would just see something like the the Chat GPT user bot visited your auto loan page
Right.
to try and get rates. But that's
Right.
but that's still way more useful than just having nothing at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But think about this. If you have on your website more specific content, so content that gets very specific,
Mm.
like with AI, maybe you just have a really simple question answer page about buying a new car versus leasing. And so this page is only about that. It's not even, yeah, maybe it doesn't lead to an application because that's what we tend to like to do. It's just purely informational. And so if you get AI user agent traffic to this hyper specific piece of content, then you can build like a topical connection between what the human's intent was. So,
Yeah.
yeah, well, like we know now that folks aren't clicking a lot of links that come back from um, AI agents. I think a big reason for that is if you really pay attention to the conversations you're having with ChatGPT, for example, it's not putting a lot of links in. And when next time you use it, notice how de-emphasized the links are. The
Yeah.
links,
Yeah, you have, it's like in a little, you got like a little bubble at the ends of
it's a
parts where it's
little
saying,
site. It's like a citation, and it is.
right.
It's like a citation that's it's not a blue link like search engines, which really makes a lot of sense if you come at it from the these AI agents are meant to be conversational and give you answers,
Right.
not send you to websites to go hunt for the same answer that AI is so good at giving you. So
Right. And that's how it's
that,
like the opposite of Google search or a search engine. The search engine is, it's, with the exceptions of now, you've got the Google AI overviews and uh, even
right,
before that came out, Google started to show a lot of different widgets that gave more direct answers to things.
right,
But fundamentally, like what Google has been for the last couple of decades is a list of blue links to
yeah,
different things that you go and click to go to that site to find the answer or to do the thing. And so
yeah,
AI is changing that where it's giving you the answer. It's not trying to, it will give you links and sometimes it'll
yeah,
say, we'll go here to look at this product or to buy this thing or do this thing. But that's
yeah,
secondary most of the time. Most of the time, it's just providing answers via
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, yeah. You can kind of you might I think of it as these designers of these these AI experiences are really trying to design the experience so you don't click on stuff. So
Mm,
yeah, I I think that's kind of the begin that's how you start to answer the question of why aren't we seeing the traffic come from these conversations? I think you have to start there when you think about that. And then so the metrics are not clicks and visits anymore as much. It's really like an intent hit. Like, can we get an intent match? And I think yeah, if you have really start to think about the content on the website, the content that the AI is hitting, if the content can give you a strong hint about what the conversation was about, now it's that's a lot more useful. If you have, let's say you have 500 user agents that hit your auto loan page, you don't know what part of the content they used to
Right.
give to the
Yeah.
human.
Did they come to see the rates? Did they come to use the calculator?
Yeah,
Both? Did they come to see your features or
yeah,
what how your process works? So that's a really good point. And now we're wandering into the realm of theory. Which is good, but I just want to point that out that what we're about to talk about, we don't know the facts of this yet, but we have some ideas about
yeah,
some of the things that could be revealed as we continue to study and learn about AI traffic and AI visibility, those in tandem, because what we know so far from the work we've done with AI visibility is that a tactic that works for increasing visibility is publishing very long form content. Now it's not saying this is the only thing that works, but we've seen that if you're not showing up for a prompt like who has the best auto loan rate in Salt Lake City, if you've got 0% visibility for that, then if you go write a very thorough article about auto loans and your rates and what you have to offer for with your auto loan product. And when I say long, I mean like several thousand words in length, like exhaustive, covering all of the possible topics and questions that someone might have. And you go and publish that, we've seen that that has a very good chance of increasing your visibility. Sometimes we've seen even credit unions and others that go from 0% to 100% visibility as a result of that. So
yeah,
that works, but exactly what one of the challenges there is exactly what you're saying, where that article's getting picked up by Chat GPT, but it doesn't tell you what it was looking at. If you've got
yeah,
a 10,000 word article,
right.
which part of it is it looking at? Is it is it even looking at most of it? So an alternative theory, like you've been talking about, is what if instead of the 10,000 word article, you made 100 separate pages that broke down the same article content into little bite-sized pieces.
Yeah,
Because then and as long as you gave AI a way to still find the answers is looking for, like maybe you give it a table of contents that says, well, if you're looking for this, go to this page. If you're looking for this, go to this page.
mhm,
And with that, you would know with much more accuracy what information it's interested in. But there when we've talked about this, you pointed out, you made a good point that there's probably a trade-off too, though, because if you make AI visit 100 pages to get the answer it's looking for, it probably won't. And again, this is theory, right? It may not like that. Versus, so that's like one end of the spectrum where forcing it to do too many page visits is inefficient for it. But on the other hand, maybe a 10,000 word article isn't the most efficient for it either. So, and I don't know that either. Like,
yeah,
so, but there's interesting theory to think about when studying how AI agents are actually using websites, which is what we're going to be able to learn more about in this study. And
yeah,
perhaps there's a sweet spot in between, subject to more experimentation to see what actually works and increases visibility. But with the analytics for not just visibility, but AI traffic, those are the sorts of questions we can start to answer.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And so having this visibility of the other side, so actual AI user agents on your site, just folks need to see, we need, with what we release, with what you're working on, Derek, that needs to get installed ASAP. I will say, um, everyone whose website runs on a server, all of these visits do exist on the server. So we could think about like, because for anyone who maintains a server log, which most servers go back many months, we could pull it up. But I mean, for most folks, where that's like their IT team is not going to touch that.
Uh,
They just need to get something installed. So I'm excited to get this out so folks can get it installed and we can start to see. Be really interesting. How does the behavior of AI user agents differ from human users?
mm. Yeah, and you bring up a good point about, okay, how do you actually get this tracking? Well, we're starting with a WordPress plugin.
Yeah,
So, so that means, of course, for first version, it's going to work with WordPress. We're also talking about building a JavaScript version that would work on any website. So that's still pending. But right now, we've got a working prototype of a WordPress plugin that we're going to be releasing soon for the study that we have coming up. And so all you have to do if you're on a WordPress site is install this WordPress plugin. And that's basically it. And then it will start sending traffic over to the Paraloom app. So very simple implementation. So that's a preview of this research study that we're about to start. And we recorded this to give everyone a bit of background. And we hope anyone listening that you'll join the study with us. If you'd like to join, then you can send me an email at dk@metrify.com. So dk@metrify.com, or go to metrify.com and submit our contact form, and we can help get you into the study. That's it. Hope everyone will join us.